and today we're going to be talking about Winter by Marissa Meyer. Winter is the fourth book in the Lunar Chronicles, and it is a fairy tale retelling just like all of the other ones. Cinder was Cinderella, Scarlet was Little Red Riding Hood, Cress was Rapunzel, and Winter is Snow White, as you can tell from the apple on the cover. Of course, there is a novella called Fairest, which follows the evil Queen Lavanna, and a set of short stories called Stars Above that is set to come out February 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, let me know. And that takes place after Winter, but of the original four, Winter is the final book. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. On Goodreads, I'll rate it up and go to 5 stars because it really was that good. The ending, I think, dragged on a little bit for me, but it was really good. Everything seemed resolved, and I was very pleased with this ending. I really suggest that you go pick this up if you have not read it yet. If you've not read the others, go read those first, and then come back because now we're going to be getting into the spoilery section. When Cress ended, we were left with Cinder telling Emperor Kai that she is Princess Celine. And this is a really big deal because Celine is the lost princess and she's finally accepting it, and they're starting this revolution, and I was like super excited to see what would happen, and the library would not get the book in. And then I actually get the book, and I don't read it until now, and I'm so happy with it, so happy with it. And then I went into the school library just this week, and they go, "Hey, did you read Winter yet?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm currently reading it." And they were like, "Yeah, it came in the day after you asked about it." Really? I put off reading books so that I could read them in order, and I read a couple of books in between this. And I should have gone back and checked. I really should have, but I didn't. Oh well, we're here now. I really like the setup of these books. She breaks them into 4 books, and at the beginning of each book, it's got a quote from the original fairy tale. "The young princess was as beautiful as daylight. She was more beautiful even than the queen herself." And it just starts you off, and then you kind of get to see inside of Winter's mind, and she doesn't use her power to control minds or glamour or manipulate bioelectricity or any of that because she doesn't want to hurt anyone. And so she has lunar sickness and is going crazy. She thinks that her body is freezing up into these ice cubes and that she can't move and that the walls are bleeding, and she sees like insects everywhere, and it's creepy and crazy. And I absolutely love Winter because she just seems so innocent and childlike, and she's plagued with this thing, and you get to see her go through that, which is really cool, and how strong she is because she can always just use her powers, but she refuses to and deals with this stuff going on in her head. I did like Scarlet and Wolf better in this book. Not quite sure why. I guess we got to see them a little better, even though all of Scarlet was focused on them. I guess I liked them after they were developed better than I liked them beforehand. Because as favorites go, I think it goes Cress, Winter, Cinder, and then Scarlet. I don't have them all with me because I got them at the library, but I own this one. Yay! So yeah, that's how I would rank them, I think. Although Cinder did a phenomenal job at introducing everything. Not being cliche and all that. Go watch that video. I'm going to talk about Winter. I did not take notes on Winter. Mostly because it's hard for me to take notes, but also because I was so enthralled with this book. Loved it. I was late back from my break at work because I was reading the last 3 chapters, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I like how they separated the group, and you still got to see from different points of view, but it didn't seem too wild, because sometimes when authors write from different points of view of the characters, they either all sound the same, or it's really hard to follow, or you only like one point of view and you wish it was one, but when they can work it out in different points of view very well, you can tell who's speaking, and they don't sound too different, and it feels like one narrator. I love the way that this book is set up. It's so well done. We do get to spend most of the book on Luna, which is really cool. We haven't got to see Luna yet, and so apparently the moon is now set up with these biodomes that are keeping all the lunars together, so that they can like breathe and stuff, which is really cool. But the domes are separated, but there's these tunnels underneath in the ground underneath the moon that sells the oxygen and the air and everything so that they can breathe, and it pulls everything that way. I'm assuming at this point they have like gravity generators, because I know the gravity is different on the moon and she doesn't talk about the gravity being different, but I think it's really, really neat, the whole environment that's been set up. They do talk about how in the outer sectors they like constantly recycle everything because they don't have the weather that wears everything down. And so when they're done using something, they tear it down, they build something else, and it all looks like a patchwork quilt type thing, which is really, really interesting. And it definitely shows why they need the resources. And the fact that all of these characters, Winter included and Cinder herself, all got to see these outer sectors before they took over, I think was really crucial to the plot line, because now they really do have an idea of what's going on in the government, so that when she makes that meeting at the end, she knows exactly what she wants done. I'm gonna make this happen, and this happen, and this happen. I was so heartbroken when Ryu died, the wolf, because I really liked that wolf. I don't know why, because he didn't play a major part. I mean, he did help cover up the fact that Winter was still alive, and he was a friend to Scarlet, and the fact that he was so tame, I guess, but he was like a little dog, was so cool, and I really, really liked him. I guess because I have a big dog, really helps me. Yankee, come here, bud. Yankee. Yankee. Let me show you how big my dog is. Okay, show them how big you are. This is my dog. And I guess Ryu just kind of reminded me of him. Bye-bye. I am all hairy now. He gets his hair everywhere. But I have a big dog. And so, and I've seen like coyotes and wolves before, so I kind of feel like he's sort of their size, probably a tad smaller. But like, I felt really connected with Ryu, and I was so sad when they killed him off. And the fact that Winter could like see his ghost because of the lunar sickness was like so adorable, and she would like throw the stick and he wouldn't bring it back because he's a ghost, and then she's worried that she might not get to see Ryu's ghost anymore, and it's really, really precious. I love the relationship between Winter and Scarlet and Ryu, and I love that Scarlet calls her crazy, because at first she really doesn't like her. But towards the end, I feel like crazy became more of a term of endearment, because she really does enjoy being around Winter a lot more than she lets on. I mean, crazy is something people say to each other now just to pick on you, like, oh, you're crazy. But here, she really is going crazy, and so at first it's like a big insult, but she's not really hurt by it, because everybody calls her crazy. And then it becomes more of a term of endearment from Scarlet, and I think that that's really, really cool to see their friendship develop. We get to see Cinder's propaganda video when she's saying, I am Princess Celine, lost princess, rightful queen to the throne of Luna, and I need you to stand with me against Lavana. And she sounds all confident, but in reality she practiced that for hours and hours and hours, and it talks about kind of how nervous she is to get the propaganda up there. And it's really cool to actually see that. See the whole before the propaganda, when it's released, the aftermath. I think that's really good, and it's done very realistically here. I also think that because she's practiced it so much, she starts to believe it herself, and it's really hard to stake her claim to it when she's only been told once that she's actually princess, and that it's because her blood matches, and eventually they conclude that she really is her because her blood matches again, but it's still sort of a mystery, and she's still questioning, well, I'm not really a queen, I'm just this mechanic. But she's still doing the right thing because she's like, well, even if I am not queen, somebody's got to rule these people better than Levana. So she's doing it. Okay, so the ending battle here ends so suddenly that it's like heart-wrenching. It's like, well, what's gonna happen next? Like, there's this whole empty section after it ends before the next chapter, and you really want to know what happens. So it's like, Kai looked at her, the wound, the knife handle, the blade still buried. He saw his mouth forming her name. He turned and screamed something over his shoulder, but his voice was lost to her, so loud, but far, far, far away. And then you turn the page, and it's like, I told you I'm fine, Scarlet insisted. You're like, what happened to Cinder? You are like dying to know what happened to Cinder. And it doesn't tell you until the end of this next chapter. And so Marissa Meyer has you on edge this entire book. It's like you get to like this really key point, next chapter with a different character, and you're like, what? And all of your questions answered eventually, but she keeps egging you on so that you keep reading, which, I mean, if you got this far in the series anyways, you're going to want to know how it ends. But she still keeps you wondering, still keeps you asking, still keeps you wanting more. Now, my favorite relationship out of all of these is obviously Cress and Thorin, and I absolutely love them to death. And the fact that he can't flirt with her, like he physically is scared to flirt with her, is hilarious. And you feel this tension between the two of them the entire time. Especially since Cress was the last book, you want to see more of them. The whole book you're like, okay, now show me Cress and Thorin. And it's like, oh, Scarlet, like, show me Cress and Thorin, come on. You finally get that kiss. Not that protective, I promised I'd kiss you if I thought you were going to die kiss, but the I am actually in love with you kiss. And that is so amazing because everybody, the whole fandom was like, give them the kiss. And you finally get it. And I love how at the end he's going through this whole speech and he's like, well, I had this list and I want you to come aboard my ship as part of my crew. And she's like, you're offering me a job? And he's like, yes, no, I'm so much better at this when I practiced it. And you're like, Captain Thorin practiced something in the mirror. Like, I can just imagine him. Okay, let's see. I have to become a better person, get a normal job, and not steal anything anymore, and actually pay for the Rampion, and then maybe, just maybe Cress will like me maybe I'll be worthy of Cress. And I think that is so sweet that he's like trying to change. It really is the Flynn Rider who's, oh, I'm a big tough thief and stuff, but he's like really like melted down whenever he's around Cress, and he's so sweet. I loved them, and I can't wait to see what happens next, especially in Stars Above. I mean, we got to see Cinder and Kai's happy ending, sort of. You got everybody else's happy ending. Even Aiko was super happy. I mean, she's a android, so she can't really be in a relationship with anyone except maybe another android, and we don't see that yet, but I kind of do wish she has a relationship, but then again, she's an android. But anyways, Cinder and Kai are like together now, but they're now realizing that they are both rulers of different planets. Okay, the moon is not really a planet. They're both leaders of this country, leaders in these spherical space orbs, and they have a very long distance relationship. And so I'm interested to see how they're going to resolve that, especially in Stars Above. I really don't want this to end at all because I love it so much. The whole world building, the characters, how they turned these fairy tales into something completely new. Fairy tales. Winter did fall asleep for a little bit, but she was only asleep for like 3 chapters because, as everybody knows, she gets poisoned. She's she's like dead-ish, and then her prince charming comes and wakes her up. Well, here the queen poisons her with Lamotis, and then her prince Jason gets the antidote, brings her back, makes her alive. Great, happy ending. Now, the very last thing that I want to talk about before I leave this very, very long review where I'm just kind of fangirling about everything is this. So, Cress is in this meeting with all of Earth's leaders so that she can sign this peace treaty. And she's suggesting that they have open immigration between Earth and Luna. And they bring up, well, we don't want our humans to be manipulated. And they're like, because that did happen back then. I know you're young. And she's like, I'll just read you the paragraph here. Leaning forward, Cinder spoke very clearly. I have a computer in my brain, she said. So while I'm not going to tell you that I'm the smartest or by any means the most experienced person in this room, I would suggest that no one use my youth to believe that I am ignorant. Like, she just, like, pulls the sass out on them. She's like, I'm sorry, I have a computer in my brain. You can't trip me up with facts. I got this covered. And I just love that. I was, like, applauding. I was reading this at work, and I was like, okay, can't really make too much noise here, but I was like, yes, go Cinder, awesome. And all of the leaders, like, shrank down, and they were like, oh, yeah, we forgot you were part cyborg, even though you brought it up, like, 2 minutes ago. So, yeah. So that's it for this video. I know it's been kind of long, but I just wanted to get all of my feels out there. So that's it. Give me a big thumbs up if you liked this video and click that subscribe button for more. And also, leave me a comment down below letting me know what your favorite scene in this book was. That's it for this video. Bye!